morning. Actually, it's not morning. It's almost the afternoon. I think it's like 11:30. But whatever. It's been a while. Truth be told, I did make one last week and the one before. But I find when I'm under duress, the videos don't sound so yes. Yeah, that right. But yeah, I mean, it's just life shit, man. Life shit. But you know, I'm here doing what I do. So let's see here. I'll start with this one, right? So I just started reading. Actually, I got an hour left of an audiobook. I say, you know, I read it. I have an hour left of an audiobook I'm listening to. But it's Charles Mingus, jazz cat, double bass player. Now, I don't know much about him, even after listening to 9 hours of his audiobook. But I do know that, and this is cool, this like, when I listened to the audiobook of Duke Ellington, there was a chapter or a part where he talked about kicking Charles Mingus out of his band, or out of his band, because he was fighting with I forget who he's fighting with, clarinet player or something, Ron Tizzle or something. But it was told from the perspective of Ellington telling it. But now in Charles Mingus' book, he's telling it from his perspective, and it's just really cool. Like, they're all friends. Like, at one point, he's talking about he went to a party, or he had a party. He just went to New York, and Charlie Bird pulls through. I just finished reading Charlie Bird like 2 weeks ago. There's another one where they're like on the bandstand with Miles Davis, and they're like talking back and forth. And if you know anything about Miles, he's like really not rude, but to the point. So they're talking. He's like, "Will you two motherfuckers shut the fuck up and just play? I want to hear Bird blow." And if you were listening to Miles' book, he loved Bird. I think he went to New York looking for Bird just so he can like see it done. So even though I'm like super removed, because as I always say, I don't even like jazz like that. Don't know much about it. But listening to all their stories, and now they're starting to overlap. At one point, Monk came through, and Monk was dancing. Because you know how, again, I've never seen this firsthand, but they say that when he'd be on the piano, he'd be all like, just doing his thing. Looking like some Cujo dog. But yeah, so I'm enjoying that. But it's weird because, as I said, I don't know much about Charles Mingus, because it's really not about his music per se. It's about his love life. It's like a fucking, I'll tie, for those who know where I'm going with it, but it's like a romance novel. It talks about his first love when he was 12, and he got to third base when he was 12, and the little girl's sisters like told the father, and the father like, "Stay away from my daughter." When she turned 18, they eloped, got married in Mexico. And then it like time jumps, and then the next thing you know, there's a bullet in his shoulder, and she is in a sanitarium, and they tied her tubes. There's like a whole chapter's worth of just that. Interesting, because I'd be listening on the way to work like, oh my gosh. But don't talk much about what he does. It just says, it's talking about that, and they'll be like, yeah, I performed with this, and Miles did that. But it's just, at one point it goes into pimpdomness. I think it's called pimpdomness. And it's just talking about the life of a pimp, which correlates with Slim, Iceberg Slim. I read his book a while ago. So it tracks, that's how it is. But I'm just scratching my head. Not while I'm driving, because that would be dangerous. Not that I can't drive one-handed, and I do, but my scratching hand. So he's talking about how said girl who the father shot him because they eloped. The father shot the baby and went to jail for it. Like, it's some wild ass shit. But he comes back after he meets some pimp, Bobby Bones, and they arrange for him to go to the father's house to go find out what happened. He rolls up with some enforcer, and the dad's like, hello, how you doing? And Charlie's like, tell your dad what you saw that night. He's like, I don't know, you guys are fooling around. How old you is? I was 9. He's like, you foul little slut. The dad pulls for the gun. The enforcer punches the dad in the face. His long lost love comes down. Charlie. He says, you got picked. Well, actually, she says, Charlie, I want to be one of your whores. I'll be the best whore you have. He's like, I don't think you're cut out for this shit. The dad's like, I think the dad's passed out at this time. Daughter's crying, the little kid sister. Then the father comes to and he's all swearing all this shit, and then Charlie puts the gun in his lost love's hand. He said, kill all these motherfuckers, kill your sister, kill your dad, and kill the enforcer. And then we hear click, 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 but there's no bullets in it. And then the enforcer's like, that's one crazy bitch. It's just like, I'm trying to listen to these stories to find out about music shit, and it's a wild life. It makes you wonder. It kind of makes sense how they all ended up crackheads, coked out, and what have you. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. And I got the last hour. So right now he's in an insane asylum, because at the one point he had his 2 main whores. That's what they call themselves. And he had this long lost love and this heiress type woman, which heiresses, they are frequent in these jazz stories. In Monk, there was some lady with like the Hilton fortune who was buying all the black musicians Rolls Royces and shit. I think Miles had like, it just keeps coming up. Someone got to educate me on this, because it's in between the texts and they all are, anyway. So he has these 2 women who at his request they're in a little family of 3, and I mean, I can't even explain it, man. So at one point he has second doubts, and he's just like, you know what, let's just leave the life. But they're already in, like, they're flying to Acapulco, getting millions of dollars to sleep with Johns. I'm never going to look at a John the same way ever again. And so John is what they call, I guess I would be a John. They try to get your money. They con John. Anyway, so but I'm a Mac. But so he gets jealous because now they are like living a life, having all these Johns try to wipe him, and he wants them all for himself. And they're like, but daddy, we did it all for you. They put like $19,000 in his hand, selling their bodies, and he's like, take it, I don't want your money. So then he leaves, gets his own apartment, and he's not sleeping. He's hopped up on amphetamines to lose weight. So he walks to the Belvedere. He walks up there, like, I want to come inside. I'm so tired. And the guy's like, sir, you don't want to come in here. This ain't the type of place you want to be at. He's like, but I'm so tired. I ain't sleep for a long time. He's like, sir. And they're arguing for like 6 hours. So finally, he's like, all right, come inside. He goes inside and he goes to the second floor. Bam! Straight jacket. And that's where I'm at. I want to know what happens. That's why I'm out here, actually. I want to know what happens. But in the story of what's his face? Michael Jackson's producer, they don't talk anymore. Quincy Jones said his mom was in an insane thing. So yeah, it's a different type of world. But yeah, not a lot to do with music, but the backstory. that? I don't know. But anyway, the other day, Thursday, I went to my therapist, and I was saying, you know, when shit happens, like if I have an issue or whatever on Monday or Saturday, my therapy session's on Thursday. So that's like a week. By the time I get there, I'm good. Like, I don't sit there thinking about it. It happened. And I put it in a little box and put it on a shelf, never to be opened. So I started off like, you know, I'll come here. I don't remember unless I write it down. And so then I started talking about what happened. So what happened? My dad was saying he's really lonely. He's lonely, and I don't talk to him. Now it's just me and him in the house, and he's telling me this every day, and it's frustrating because we never talked. I would hang out with my dad, go to the garden with him, but I'd be in the playground playing by myself. As far as back as I can remember, I've always been by myself. Reading books, going to the library. Japan, I mean, I met people, but it wasn't a group thing. It was me going by myself. When I was in temple, I was practically by myself. Now, me can walk away. So yeah, he's just going on and on and on, and I feel bad because he lost his wife. They used to talk about, like, they watch reruns and talk about the rerun that just reran. If I already seen it, I ain't gonna watch it again, unless it's Kill Bill, Matrix. I don't know. I don't watch movies twice. I don't read books twice. In a sense, I don't listen to albums twice. I don't even listen to my own music twice. It depends, but in general, it's a one and done kind of thing. So I get bored easily, unless we're coming from different angles. And some topics I just don't want to talk about. At least they didn't beep. That'd be scary. Like, ah! But so all week he's going on about this, and I'm just stressed because I can't tell him, man, this is how it's been. And you don't want to hear about Charlie Mingus, Charlie Bird. I don't think my dad listened to jazz. But ironically, my dad was like, he don't know nothing about my music. Ellington was, his first thing was released in 1933. My dad was born in 1933. So I'm there, and then Louis Armstrong was before that. So I'm pretty abreast on what was popular at the time, but I don't think, because back in Jamaica, I don't think jazz was over there yet. Don't know. But, so anyway, my aunt comes over and she's just like, were you talking to your son when he was 17? My dad's like, no. She's like, so what do you think? I'm like, yeah, that's my aunt. But I left there because my aunt came over and I went to go meet my friend. Or actually, the day before, I was supposed to go out to another escape room with a friend, but they didn't call, they didn't text, it didn't go down. We had plans, it just didn't go down. I was a little distraught because we had plans. And I was telling my therapist this. I said, yeah, you remember I told you I was going to go do the escape room? He's like, how was it? I said, it didn't go down because, you didn't call. He didn't show up. Guess he was busy. And she was like, well, did you call him? I said, why the hell would I do that? The plan was set. And she said, oh, Matthew, you can't expect people to do what you don't do. And so I sit there. Like, that's the face I make. Are you fucking stupid? That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not gonna say that to people, not to a therapist, not to anyone, unless it gets to that point. So then she's like, you have to understand people. So then I come down, I say, listen, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something because that's what I say I'm going to do. She said, well, not everybody's you. I give her the look at it. So then it's an hour session, but we always go to an hour and 25. But maybe 20 minutes later, she said something like, what? Now, when I'm at therapy or talking to people, I'm not trying to hang them up, make them look stupid. I'm just trying to state my case, you know, without so much flickety-flapping or whatever. So she said, actions speak louder than words. And I just connected those dots. I said, yeah, I was expecting the action that my friend is going to follow through on his actions. Why should I use my words to remind him? She's like, you're... And then she went back and said, no. And then she just took it in another direction. I was irritated, but it's a small win. She knows what I'm talking about. But then, so this is all one weekend, right? So then, I go to meet my friend, my female friend. And we're talking, and I say, yeah, it's really difficult to talk to my dad about the things that I'm doing. You know, the books I read, or the music I make, or things I'm doing, whatever. And then she said to me, well, have you ever thought about talking about things that other people could understand? And I gave her this look. But I tried to tone it down a little bit because, you know, she don't know me. Well, I don't know her for like a month or so. But, and she just kept going in. Like, you know, you got to be more... I'm like, I go to therapy. If I want someone to tell me what they think, I will sit in a chair. I didn't come here for that. But I let her talk. Because we all know, you don't want to interrupt people. Let them speak their minds. So she's going on and on and on. And there's no Erica Badu there. Just on and on and on. So then I say as softly as I can. Doesn't matter. It still comes off sounding the way, but why are you telling me this? She says, well, and she goes on and on. Listen, I read books about this. And now we're sitting across, looking at each other. And I'm replaying every other time I've been in this situation. Doesn't fare well for me. Not at all. People are going to start saying, oh, you're so difficult. What am I difficult? I didn't ask for the advice. How is this wrong? Am I wrong? And then, so then, again, I'm just wired this way. Like, if you say tree, I think bee. And I think, oh, that rhymed. All the time. Like, that's just my brain. It's always on like that. When it comes to talking, I'm looking for consistencies or inconsistency. In the same way, like if you watch movies with certain people, like, well, that couldn't happen because that shirt was made in 1948 and this movie's based in 1929. There's a word for that. I don't know it off the head. But some people just watch a movie. Like, I go in there and I suspend my belief. Like, if I'm watching Avatar and I'm thinking, okay, these dumbass little kids keep getting in the shit. How's that gonna work? It's their fault. I felt no, but I had to get my brain into the movies. That's how they are. Like Carl from Walking Dead. I didn't cry when he died. The only person I might have felt something for would have been Daryl. Because Daryl was just Daryl. Everyone else, from Michonne to the Carol? Is it Carol? Yeah, Carol. To the girl with the sister with the little slingshot. All of them, put them, oh man, another story. But Yeah, I got off topic, man. Whew. But yeah, so we're sitting there staring at each other, and I'm trying to not do what I always do. So I say, because y'all can't read my mind. People try that. Don't try to read it. Just listen. I'll tell you. But people be reading. So I said, when you were saying how I should be, it really bothered me. Didn't like it. I knew you probably intended well, but I didn't ask you for your advice. We just set off another, but I'm only da-da-da-da. But then towards the end, they're like, okay, I get it now. I get it. But do they get it? Or is it more of a, just shut the fuck up, man. I want to get out of here. This is not going anywhere. Because, again, I compare this to all the other times. I can't remember when someone's like, all right, unless we were dating for a while. So only outside of dating, like girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, has a conversation extended to another day. Because everyone else just puts a proverbial thumbtack in it, but they never pull that tack out. Where I got notes. I'm reviewing the conversation. But yeah. So I was telling this story to the therapist, and again, she's, well, and it just puts me in this, because But anyway. And the same thing with the therapist. She's like, okay, we'll talk about this next week. Next week comes, if I say, I was jumping on a kangaroo, we'll spend 40 minutes talking, what kind of kangaroo? Oh, there's this place called Kangaroo Jack's. And then 20 minutes, we might get into it, and it's like, gotta go. And then the extra 20 minutes pops on because she's trying to look for a nice place to end it, but there is no end in sight for me at this moment. So when I'm reading the book Charles Mingus or Charlie Bird or any other jazz cats, their lives kind of mirror mine, or my life mirrors theirs. Very complicated individuals. Dude had everything he wanted, but he didn't want it. I want my silence. I'm out here, but I do want companionship. Get companionship, but then I can't be who I am. Who am I? I'm just somebody. Like, these are conversations that he's saying, that I'm saying. Like, maybe if, I assume he's dead. I don't know, because, yeah, I think it would be. But maybe he and I would, well, I don't know. But the monologues in this book, it'd be like a 15-minute monologue about life and shit. Again, nothing to do with music. But yeah, and we'll wrap this up right here, or we'll extend it. So I'm working at a company teaching kids, and the kids are, I like them, they're funny. So last week, the teachers came out and yelled at the kids in lunch for being kids in lunch, literally. What do you do in lunch? You act up. And she's like, you don't stand in it. She's yelling at them. So the next day, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna handle this. They didn't give me any instructions. I'm just there to watch them. She didn't say I gotta enforce shit. And they didn't yell at me, but it's implied that, well, since these jackasses ain't doing shit. So the next day I come out there, and I turn the lights off, the international sign of shut the hell up. And I say, listen. Actually, I wasn't even shouting. I was speaking at this voice. I got into my stage voice. I'm just, listen. We are not going to be standing anymore. You want to stand, raise your hand. But these are little kids, 3rd grade, 2nd, 1st. So they're all like raising their hand. All right, so your hands work. If you want to do this, you raise your hand. Da-da-da-da. Do you have any questions? I was just asking that just to be, But then these little hands start popping up. I say yes. Little girl says, What if I want to talk to my friends? I say, you sit your butt down and you wait till recess. Another kid comes, what if I want to throw away my garbage? You don't. End of the class. What if I want to... But these are valid questions. And I was happy that they asked, because it's not me saying, don't do this because I said so, as the teachers were doing before, and it didn't work. It's me saying, don't do this. You can ask why, and we can go into it. All of this is kind of predicated with, it's for their safety. Kids running around, bumping to the shit, dropping food all the time. So, you know, there's a reason. But these are little kids, you know? They're not stupid. And I treat them as little individuals. That's how I want to be treated. I'm treating people, don't matter their age, class, race. I did it the same way when I was in Japan. When I was even speaking their language, you understand. You see, I'm always in line with them. And then there was a couple stragglers who, after they finished their lunch, they start strolling up there. Because when they stroll up there, they stop and talk to every little friend of theirs. And they start skipping and doing the sturdy. And hey, what you doing over there? He's like, I'm going to do it. Get your, I don't say, I scoot, go back. One girl, she keeps testing me. She comes up with a tray. I'm like, go back. She's like, go back. She just keeps walking. Go back. She just keeps on walking. And then she throws the garbage away and she's walking back. What? I was throwing away my garbage. So then I go to her table and I said, can you tell this classmate of yours what time we throw the garbage away? They say, we throw the garbage away at the end of the lunch. Ah, so you guys do know. Make sure. But it's all in jest. It's fun. I don't care if they throw their garbage away. But, you know, there's a rule. And we're going to enforce it. We being me. And it's been okay. But did I get a badge when the teachers came out and saw the great work I was doing? No, sir. They scowled at me. He wasn't doing his job all this year. So, fast forward to Tuesday. My company wanted to have a meeting with the teachers. There's 3 of us in the school. And they want to have a meeting about how we're doing. So I go in there, a Zoom meeting, and they're talking about, yeah, next week the school is going to tell you guys how to do your job. And everything is going to be settled now because, you know, it's been a little rough. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, does anyone have any questions? The other 2 aides are saying what they're saying, but they're purposely not saying what needs to be said. They're just kind of... And then the manager lady says, do you have anything to say, Matthew? I said, I'm going to let you speak. So she goes on. Then I come in, I say, if we got new job titles, shouldn't we get new contracts? She said, I don't think you need new contracts. It's basic. Flag. That's a red fucking flag. What do you mean? If we're doing a different type of job that we weren't hired for, we should have a new contract. I didn't say they should give us a raise, but that's kind of what I was insinuating. She said, I don't think we need to get, so, okay, whatever. She said, so next week you guys are going to talk to the teachers and they're going to let you guys know what you got to do. But some of the teachers are very rude. Not to me. Well, they are rude to me at times, but I don't really deal with them so much. But in the other ones, they're like yelling at the ladies. No, you didn't do this. What's wrong with you? And then she'll tell me with tears in her eyes, you know? But she needs the money. If we didn't need the money, we wouldn't be working there, you know? So when I was speaking, it was on her behalf without throwing her under the bus. I'm like, you know, how can we talk to these teachers if they have different expectations of what we know? If we had it in a contract, we could say this is what we're contracted to do. The lady says, so what is it that you think they're going to ask you to do? I'm like, and like her head is moving like, what is wrong with you? So then I'm like, okay. I said, what if they ask us to pick up dirt? She's like, they wouldn't ask you to pick up dirt. Like, she's missing my point. So in this company, we had this thing called explicit teaching. I do. So you show the examples to the kids and then you do it together with the kids, and then I do, we do, and then the kids do it by themselves. So I try to use this terminology. So maybe she would, I said, so basically you're not explicitly giving us instructions on what we should do. You're just sending us out there. She says, oh, don't worry. Next week, they'll tell you. He's like, okay, anything else? And before I can say, click, boom, boom, zooms off. I'm sitting there, my heart's pumping, pop, 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 pop. Because it's been that week, man. I feel like everybody's just like trampling on my soul. So I call her up. I say, burp, burp, burp. I say, it's me. I'm pretty sure I'm in caller ID. I say, hey, what's going on, Matthew? I said, so when's this meeting happen? I don't know. Are they going to tell us how to do this and this? I don't know. So we had a meeting for you to tell, that could have been an email. I didn't say that. She's like, well, okay, have a nice weekend. Boom. Why are you so quick to get off the damn phone? I ask myself. So then I get to school and I see the principal. I'm like, hey, principal. She's like, hey, Matt. I heard we're supposed to have a meeting. She's like, yeah, it's going to be next week. Next week, I'm making this video on Saturday. I talked to her on Thursday. Thursday. If there's, and then I walk away from all these situations thinking, am I the slow bump? Like, is it me? I just want clarity in my life. And things that won't be clarified, then I just want to put it in boxes and like, just let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Like, one area where things are kind of going with how they should. So I still do my Friday challenges, and I think on Monday or Tuesday, producer is like, hey, can you rap on my beat this week? I'm like, yeah, sure, here's my email. He sent me the track that day within like 30 minutes. I'm listening to it. I was a little tired, but I listened to it a couple times. I couldn't really think of anything. Went to bed. The next day, he's from Portugal, so I'm like, I'll try to pull in things from Portugal. So I started with, I stand like the sanctuary, arms spread out. No hatchet to bury, we family now. Koalas in the back of the, And then, that's all I really knew about him. Then I threw in his rap name or his producer name. And then I said, I kick it like Ronaldo, like the World Cup. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, it sucks. But as long as you stand on your feet, that's what's up. The Frente brought the heat, thanks very much. And rhyming's on the beat, keep in touch. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, I get confused if someone's like, no, we should work together. I'm like, all right, cool. You have any ideas? You ask me if we want to work together. I'm down. But I don't got ideas. I got 1,000 ideas, but I don't know where your ideas lie. It's better you send a beat, send a topic. I'll deliver. Give me a due date. I don't function that way. Again, am I wrong? Like right now, I've been banging out these 365s every day. I try to get them in, but I don't rush them. I got 24 hours. But yeah. But yeah, today's a beautiful day. I don't know what I have planned. I want to finish the thing. So when I leave here, I'm going to walk around for like a half an hour. And then I'm going to take a trip somewhere for half an hour. But yeah, man. Anyway, 33 minutes. I thought it'd be longer. Felt long. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. I always say I'm going to put the link in the video. I never do. But yeah, I'll spell it out. Rhyming on the beat at, I'll put a link in there, but the videos are popping up. Today I made one because today's topic was, when I woke up, I felt like right now is where I just came back from, or I'm in Japan. Last year at this time I was in Japan, and I just got out of quarantine according to my phone. You know, Apple shows you what you were doing the year before or years before. And it's just this nostalgic, like, I'm not going back for a while, and that kind of sucks. There's nothing I could do about that at this moment. So I was just like, last year I was there, but now I'm here. Last year I was there, now I'm at home. But I can make music anywhere. See, I don't remember what I said, but it was nice. It was really nice. Just saying, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm still be doing what I do. But I was looking at them pictures. It kind of, like, I love, like, I have a little bit of nostalgic feeling when I come to this park, because I used to go sleigh riding on that hill. After the prom, I went up there and tried to, let's get it on. But I brought my friend, and he was all alone. And he's like, yo, when we gonna go back home? And I'm like, but I'm trying to get some. So that happened. But it's different, man. Like, I feel like when I was in Japan, it was me coming of age. I was alone, doing my thing. Yo, this happened. I'm tacking this on you. So, another reason I was kind of getting all frazzled is my dad gets worried about, you know, paying bills and stuff. And as I mentioned before, he wants to do it with checks and stuff, which is fine, you know. I could literally write a check for every month for the next 6 months. So they'll be ready, put in a little folder. He could sign it and date it as needed. But he wants to write checks the week of and send it 2 weeks before and have it go through the mail. I'm worried. People be snatching letters out the mail, and our mail, there's sometimes mail dropped on the floor. You know, I don't trust these mail people. No, sir. But, you know, so he's stressed about that, and I can't really say much because it'll just stress him out more. So I just gotta, like, hold it in. And I have nowhere for it to go except, you know, my music. I do that every day. But that's about it, man. Just holding it. And it's like, because when I do venture out to tell someone, like, oh, this is going on, like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not the biggest, like, who are you to tell me if I was at like a 2, like dealing with it, it's as if they ripped the Band-Aid off. It's like, what the fuck you mean don't worry about it? I didn't ask it. And then for them, it's like, but so I just try to keep it to myself. And again, I can't make the videos because it comes out in a way that kind of like, remember Kramer when he was doing his stand-up and he was so stressed out and he called some people the N-word and that was it. He couldn't keep it in. We're human, you know. But, so we go down to the bank. So my dad has 2 bank accounts and he wanted to transfer money from his savings to his checking so he could pay some bills. Yeah, I know. You could do it online. You could do it on the phone. But my dad had me write out a check to himself to deposit like that. Whatever. So we go down there and the lady takes the check and then she just does everything. She gives him the paper receipt and it's like, so you want to, what's this check about? You want to take out X amount of dollars? And my dad's like, no, that's supposed to go into the account. And it's like, I already did that. And he's like, and I'm like, he doesn't understand that you could do it. And she's like, okay. She's like, you want me to destroy the check? Like, And I'm just like, you know, you could have done this on the phone. He's like, I know we can, but I don't know how to do it. Like, so we're driving to go food shopping, whatever. And I said to my dad, I said, you know, I know he knows, but I'm trying to make my point. I said, you know how the 12 disciples were on the ship and the storm was coming and they were all worried and nervous and stressed, and they went over to where Jesus was sleeping. They said, hey man, wake up, man, there's some shit happening. And he's like, man, chill out, guys, storm be gone, poof. And my dad's like, I didn't know you knew that story. If we took a test, I'd probably do well on most areas of expertise. I mean, I would pass them. Like, I'm jumping around. So I had to do training for this, the job I do, right? And I just go in there and be like, just logically, because we got to watch videos and then answer questions. Now, I don't know this material. It's on some inner brain. We got the phonological processor. Look, what the... But it follows suit and it builds on it. So I'm like just taking a test, and I was getting to the point where it's a time test and it would take 3 hours, but I would finish it in 2. And I talked about this before. I don't get paid because I'm fast about it. So I had to go back again and have all the videos played through so I can get all of my money for the training. But so my dad's like, I didn't know you knew that. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, you know how they were worried and stressed, and they didn't have to be. That's how it is now. You're worried and stressed, but you don't have to. I'm here. I don't want to say I'll take care of everything, because I can't. I can take care of what I can take care of. But I'm pretty good at this stuff. This stuff, like, you don't need to stress about coming downtown to write checks. I can do that. And he's like, I know. But, you know, I know. That's the closest we're going to get. And I'll end with this. So yesterday, my dad, I was doing the live stream of the beat makers on Friday, and my beat was playing. So of course I'm watching it to see, you know, it's a live feed with people. So I want to see what they're saying. I want to see if they're catching the nuances of the whatever I'm doing. So in this one, I'm making the beat, or I'm just playing the beat. It's not sequenced. So if I would stop, the sounds would stop. So I got to keep with it. And then I start editing the sample as the beat is playing. So it's kind of like without missing the beat, not dropping it. And then I transition by doing a pitch. So I'm watching me, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's editing it. And my dad's coming up talking. I'm like, usually I'm not doing anything, but this is, I mean, I can always watch the playback. But and he's like, when you come up, can you bring or whenever you get a chance, can you bring something up for me? Because I forgot, and I don't want to go back downstairs. I'm like, okay, Dad. So he goes in there. After I'm done finishing, I go downstairs, come up here, and he's just like, wow, that was fast. I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, you are a godsend. This is the highest compliment. I mean, my dad says I'm a genius about computer stuff. Not really. I can't write code and shit. People in my family don't even know what I do on computers. I don't write codes and Bill Gates shit. I take that and create and make shit. But he's like, you're a godsend. And my dad loves Good Times, or at least, yeah, I guess he could say he always watches. It's always on, the reruns. And JJ, when his dad would say something, oh, Jay, you're such a good painter, or whatever. And JJ would be like, I knew. So when my dad's like, you're a godsend, I said, I knew. And then my dad is he starts laughing because it connected to the show, and he got it. Usually he don't get my humor. Most people don't get my humor. Like my lyrics, a lot of what I say is connected to something. Like I'm jumping around again, pardon me. But I say in this one rap, I'm like, so far, okay, I say this. I say, I'm happy like Hogan. Because I'm happy like Hogan. Some people be talking like Rogan and be stalling like Joseph. I mean, there's more to it, but the point is, Happy Hogan from Iron Man, his real name is Joseph, at least in the show. Joseph Happy Hogan. And then Rogan, the podcast guy, his first name is Joe, which is short for Joseph. And then Stalling, Joseph Stalin. Like, that's a powerful, packed-in thing. It's not on some hippity. It's not said in a way that's like, look how they're called this. It's just saying it to say it. But I say it in such a way that Funk Flex would be like, eh. I mean, I say that because JID was going around saying how he's going to quit freestyling because Funk Flex didn't acknowledge him. Is that why we freestyle for? No, I know what he means. Ain't nobody ever... every now and then someone's like, oh my gosh, you said that, or I like that line. Like I said one time, I got a lot of lines, but I mean, I don't know if he's Grammy nominated and all that, but he signed to Dream, So he should have all the little ducks in line, but he wants Funk Flex to pat his back and say, good job, good job. But I get it. We all need it. But he's like, but yeah. So that's it. We hit 45. And we're going to leave it at that. But enjoy your weekend. I'll put links down there if you want to see what's popping on the 365 front. Let me know if I'm crazy. Am I a slow bump? Because if I am, I guess I am. But that's just what I am, you know. I can't even say that. I'm learning how not to be a slow bump. But if I'm a slow bump, can a slow bump be a fast bump? All right. But now I'm going to listen to, I might even just sit here and listen to that. Because look how nice it is. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. And be safe. Because it's crazy out here. I live in Easton. Easton's small, and then Bethlehem, and then Allentown. Every day, someone's getting shot. Like today, somebody got shot. Yesterday, someone got shot in the face. I kind of teach in Allentown. But I don't be up there like that. The clubs I used to go to, they got closed down because someone got shot. There's a lot of shooting where I'm from. I don't be around there, but it be like that. So yeah, be safe. Peace.